This is the face of a man who was actually beyond help. 27-year-old Fanta Tedi was born in Eritrea. At the age of 12, he was conscripted into the army as a child soldier, and then he was sent out onto the battlefield. During his time as a soldier, he was subject to being shot and also torture practices. Now imagine what kind of memories he must have had. That must have messed with his psyche bad. Now he was eventually granted asylum in Swansea, and his life should have turned out better. Only Tedi Fanta, who can only be described as needed serious help, travelled all the way from Swansea to London in order to harm total strangers. In July 2021, 27-year-old Tedi Fanta had armed himself with a blade. He tucked it inside his jacket, booked a coach from Swansea to London, and then he began on his adventure, blade in hand. Now again, it has to be said that Tedi Fanta was troubled, severely troubled, due to his upbringing and the life he had in the early years. In fact, a week prior to his frenzied incident, Wales police had detained Tedi Fanta for attempting to use a saw on a stranger. Now he wanted to harm strangers, as I said, so he ventured around Oxford Street, London, and carried out a frenzied attack outside a Microsoft store. His first victim was 60-year-old retired civil servant Stephen Dempsey. Tedi Fanta pounced on Stephen Dempsey. The 6-year-old victim struggled, but again he was overpowered and taken down to the ground quickly. Once on the ground, Tedi had used his blade at least 4 times, swinging and jabbing, wildly and with purpose. Stephen Dempsey was wounded seriously at least 4 times. Now 2 good Samaritans saw what was happening, and then they pounced on Tedi, knocking him over. The 2 strangers were also injured, yet they still managed to restrain Tedi until police and emergency services attended the scene. Sadly, Stephen Dempsey was taken to hospital, but he passed away a day later due to the severity of his wounds. As for Tedi Fanta, he was declared unfit to stand trial due to his fragile mental state, and he's probably going to be held in hospital indefinitely. Condolences to Stephen Dempsey's family, and fair play to the 2 strangers that helped try and save his life.